Good morning. It's Kirsten Liebelt. How are you doing? It's Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to switch one thing with TikTok. Hold on. And there we go. Okay. Nope. All right. So I'm being super brave today because I have one of the things that I really wanted to do is I wanted to be able to, showcase cooking something every now and then, but it's the whole device setup situation that can get super kind of crazy pants. So today we're going to do it. All right. Awesome. My husband says that my audio on my Instagram is good. Very good. I just turned on my oven and now it's going to sing to us. Does anybody have Samsung appliances that sing to you? Seriously, it's a problem. And Carrie, the other thing too is that if anything is echoey, let me know if it's super echoey. Because I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to avoid having frustrating audio for you guys, especially when I'm trying to teach something so that you guys don't feel like it's, whatever. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Okay. So if you're on the replay, let me know that you're on the replay. I would love to know that. And where you're coming in from. That would be totally awesome. And so one of the things that I talk about a lot when it comes to insulin resistance is making sure that you're eating foods that are not spiking your sugars so that you're not calling on a lot of insulin, right? That's the whole goal, is that we're going to change the way that your body is being efficient and working because the biggest frustration for women, I have guys that are my customers too, but the majority are women because that's my demographic, right? I can talk about the heart, I can talk about the mindset a little easier with women. And so the Facebook group is Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And every month I do a challenge in there, a 5-day challenge. And the next one is going to be in July. June's challenge is actually pinned to the top of the group in the favorites. But I want you to know that this is my 1-year anniversary. And so all orders that are placed in the month of June are going to go into a drawing, and I'm going to be giving away free trios. And if you don't know what trios are, they are 3 supplements that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. It's where I started. I literally just got a text yesterday. She started on June 7th. And as of yesterday, I'm trying to remember because I want my numbers to be correct. She started on June 7th. And as of yesterday, she's lost 9 pounds. 9 pounds, because when you can bring your sugar and your insulin down, you can actually lose weight. Did you know that if your sugars and or your insulin are high, you can't lose weight? Did you know that's like a reality? That's like a biological situation. And most people don't know that. And so oftentimes I have a lot of people coming to me and they're talking to me about the fact that maybe they've done keto, maybe they've done all sorts of things, whatever. And they've maybe even gotten their A1C down. Praise God. Let's go, get the numbers in the right direction. But yet maybe they're still stuck. Okay. So I just want you to know that. So all orders in the month of June, I'm giving away trio sets. And I'm so excited to do that. This is because it's my anniversary. We've done 13 challenges in a row, you guys, 13 challenges. And the whole idea is that you do a challenge. We do a challenge at the beginning of a month. You can nail that month because you're encouraged. You've got resources. You've got tools in your toolbox. A lot of people grab the trio before they get to the challenge, and then you can nail that month. And at the beginning of the next month, we'll do it again. And then we'll do it again. And I know that yesterday somebody had said, stop going so fast with your months when you're talking, because now you're like the summer is fleeting. I'm like, oh, I know. It goes fast. So I'm going to do a bunch of stuff. I'm just going to assume that the audio is going to be fine. We're just going to use my mixer. That's going to be noisy. I'm going to use parchment paper. That's going to be noisy. And we're just going to go for it. So hi, Magda. Oh, thanks. I know. Happy anniversary to the group. It's so much fun. And everybody that's in there, you guys were at 4,000 women. We're at 4,000 women. This is so exciting. And I want this to be a community where, good morning. Oh, good morning. Good morning. So I want this to be a community where you guys can not only learn really super practical information that finally can maybe click in your brain and make sense as to why things aren't working for you anymore. why counting points isn't working, why living in a calorie deficit only isn't working, why all of this, like you're working out, you used to be able to work out and be like a crazy workout person in your 30s or whatever, and you used to be able to drop weight like crazy, and now it's not working anymore. Oh my gosh, you're watching from India. That's fantastic. Welcome. That is so much fun. That is crazy. Isn't that nuts, you guys, that this is the world we live in? When I started my journey of trading up my ingredients, and I'm going to make an egg white bread today. When I started my journey, there was no Facebook Live. There was no TikTok. There wasn't even Periscope, if anybody remembers Periscope. And the thing is that good morning, movie mama. Good to see you. The thing is that, so I went on my journey on my own and learned from people like Maria Emmerich. Do you know who Maria Emmerich is? This is one of her recipes, and I've just tweaked it for myself. If you know who she is, this is what we're going to do. So grab a pen and a paper, okay? There's no way that I can repeat it like over and over again for everybody. So follow along, and I'll try the best that I can. How many ingredients do I have? These are the ingredients. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 4, 6, 7 ingredients. Okay. 7 ingredients. This is not hard. Maybe it's 8 because I'm going to add vanilla to this one. So 8 ingredients. Get a pen and a paper, follow along so that you don't feel too confused. If for any reason you're like, I still can't quite follow or I don't understand, there's a couple things that you can do. Jump into the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And when you do, at some point, there's a lot of people jumping in. So be patient. You'll get tagged in a PDF that has free recipes, snacks, and a pantry list for your ideas. Okay. And then during the challenge in July, I'll go through, this is my pantry right here. I'll go through my pantry and show you guys stuff and my refrigerator, which is right next to it, because I want you guys to have a visual on what I'm doing. Okay. All right. So I'm going to make a bunch of noise here, and I'm going to start with parchment paper, and I'm just going to put it in my pan, because this is how I can make it so that it doesn't stick. We don't want it to stick. So here we go. This is a trick that I had learned along the way. I don't know why I didn't know this a long time ago. Thank you, Kristen, for all of the likes. And I love your pink hearts on TikTok. That's wonderful. So I'm basically just doing this because parchment paper can be a stinker to work with. Here we go. All right, I'm just going to put this in the pan, mold it to my pan. Can you all see? I think so. Took me a minute to get all of my camera set up so that you can all see all at the same time. All right, so I've got this going. I'm just going to set this aside, okay? The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my egg whites and my measuring cup. When you're whipping up egg whites, you want to make positive sure that you have no liquid at all, not even a droplet of liquid in your bowl, because otherwise your egg whites won't whip. And the amount of egg whites is going to be 1 pint. Okay. And there are 2 cups in a pint. So 2 cups of egg whites if you're using, a quart. So I'm going to go 2 cups. These are just from, wherever, Walmart, all these. You can also very easily use real egg whites. Like, you don't have to buy them like this. I'm just doing this for convenience purposes. And if I miss Cheryl, good morning. Good to see you. Barbara, nice to see you. Oh, you guys are awesome. Okay, 2 cups of egg whites. Here we go. Pour that right in. This is so easy, you guys. It's very simplistic. Now, you might be wondering, what the heck is egg white bread? Hold on, let me grab. Where's my... Oh, here we go. You might be wondering, what the heck is egg white bread? Well, egg white bread is like something that I said, like Maria Emmerich made, kind of showed us how to do it. And it's a high protein. It's low fat. Not that we are living low fat. Don't be confused. I'm just telling you the truth about this particular recipe. It's high protein, it's low fat, and so it's not going to spike your sugars. It's a great alternative to grain, because we're all grain free. Like, this is This is what I teach in the group: grain-free, sugar-free, whole food, no fad, keto that can actually get results, not the marketing keto that tells you to have fat bombs in your freezer and butter in your coffee. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about. Maria Emmerich has protein as a macro, a really high macro. And I have found that that has worked the best for me. And so I teach targeted supplementation and food. So let's go. All right. So that was a pint of egg whites. The second thing I'm going to have you do is 3 tablespoons. Well, hold on. Yeah. 3 tablespoons of allulose. So if you don't know what allulose is, basically it's a natural plant sweetener, and you can buy straight allulose, or this Swerve actually has allulose in it. They're coming out with like new blends on a regular basis. And you might be saying, why are you talking about allulose? Why do you care? Allulose is what's going to make the bread turn brown. If you don't use allulose, your bread will be white. It'll still taste amazing. You're still fine. Everything is good. You'll just wonder why it's not brown. That's what's going to happen. So this particular one, because it doesn't have to be straight allulose, this is an erythritol blend, and it's erythritol and allulose. So we're going to use this. I kind of mix and match my sweeteners. I personally don't care about a lot, so I'm good. What's cooking? Good morning. Good to see you. She says, what's cooking? Good looking. Dreamy Smokes Reviews. Very interesting. I like that. We are making an egg white protein powder bread, or an egg white protein bread. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to put 3 tablespoons of allulose in there. You know, you think about it like when you eat your Wonder Bread or your Italiano bread that maybe we love so much. There's a sweetness to it, right? Well, it has sugar in it. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. I had to put this back so far that I'm right up against here, because otherwise my stove is getting warm. My stove is being heated, by the way, to 325. 325. And the next thing I'm going to do is some cream of tartar, and I'm going to do a 1/2 teaspoon. Let me find my teaspoon. There we go. 1/2 teaspoon cream of tartar. Cream of tartar stabilizes your egg whites. So if you've never used that before, cream of tartar is often used in, like, snickerdoodles. Everybody likes snickerdoodles. And you guys can ask questions as we go too if you want to. You tried keto for a while, worked wonderful. You do OMAD diet and watch sugar intake. Good job. And if that's working, fantastic. OMAD is 1 meal a day, by the way, if anybody wants to know what that is. Good for you. Let's just get our sugars under control, right? So, okay, now I'm going to 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So if you're writing this down, too much. All right, now you can make this bread savory, or you can make this bread sweet. I have a sweet tooth, so I always make mine sweet. I almost never make mine savory, and I'm going to teach you the sweet way, okay? If you're going to do it savory, all you would do is you would omit the extra stevia that I'm about to add in, and you would omit the extract that I'm going to use at the end, and you'll see why, okay? So that was a 1/2 teaspoon cream of tartar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and this is just my tweaked version of the Maria Emmerich. All right, egg whites, allulose, stevia, salt, cream of tartar. That's how easy that is. Now I'm going to start getting it going, and I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of gelatin. And the reason why is because this is the texture game changer for the bread. But I want it to really be going because gelatin can get clumpy. And so I'm going to go ahead and get it started. Add in 3 tablespoons of gelatin, and then we're going to whip this puppy up. And when it gets nice and high, I'm going to add, actually, I will add a couple other things here first. Sorry. I forget about my extra sweetness that I want to add. But at the very end, we're going to add egg white protein powder. That's the weird ingredient. You get it like at Walmart.com, Amazon.com. Some grocery stores in the South have it in the grocery store. and I'm going to add an extract. And I trade out my extracts all the time because that's, to me, what gives me variety in my sweetbreads. And then when my bread is done, I can slice it and I can fry it in butter and have it with like a couple of eggs in the morning. Does that make sense? Like it's literally like having a sweetbread. And for me, that's fulfilling something. Somebody else might prefer to do a savory bread, and maybe you want, like basil or garlic powder or something like that because you're a savory person. Maybe you want a little extra saltiness, right? So just be creative in your minds. What kind of salt are you using because you have issues with fluid retention, have to watch salt intake? The worst salt that you could have is table salt, like just your regular Morton's iodized salt. Don't get me wrong, we need iodine. Sometimes we have to, because now we've changed so much to pink Himalayan, et cetera. We actually are deficient in iodine. That's a thyroid connection. But table salt is terrible. This is just pink Himalayan salt. But that, because that has added chemicals. And so that fluid retention is a problem. Anyway, all right. I'm going to do 1 squirt liquid caramel stevia because I'm going to boost the sweetness of my bread. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go like this. 1 squirt. I'm going to add some vanilla because I'm making mine sweet. You would not add these if you wanted savory. About a tablespoon. Really boost that flavor. All right, let's get going. One. Two. Three. Voila, here we go. Get them nice and stiff. Thank you for the follow, Debbie. I've been missing my follows on TikTok. I apologize, you guys. Movie Mama, thank you for all the likes. You're amazing. You're amazing. Such good support. Okay, it's almost done. So I kind of eyeball it a little bit. You don't want to overdo your egg whites because then it can, excuse me, it can get a little styrofoamy. That's actually never happened to me. So I just eyeball it so that I can see how thick this is. Maybe I need to show you this. Can you see how thick that is? You guys, I think you can. Yep. So that's pretty stiff, right? And so I want it to be stiff, but not like whipped into butter or something. Well, I guess that wouldn't happen, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it down like this for just a second, and I'm going to take this egg white protein powder, and I'm going to add about 2/3 of a cup to this. So this is a very large jug. I bought it during Christmas time because they were having sales on it, like half off, which is huge because egg white protein powder skyrocketed in price. Probably, you know, just when eggs were skyrocketing in general. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 2/3 of a cup into this. And I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of my favorite extract. So, well, just meaning the extract of my choice for today. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put a banana extract in there because do you guys miss bananas? Does anybody miss bananas? So sometimes I'll do a banana extract, and then when I'm putting it in my pan, I will put a layer of this mixture with some cinnamon, and then a layer, and then cinnamon, and then a layer, and then cinnamon, and I end up with a cinnamon marbled bread, okay? Sometimes I'll do an almond extract, and then I'll take like a cocoa or cacao, whichever people are choosing, and maybe a powdered sweetener mixture, and I'll have almond, and I'm layering it with a chocolate layer. Is everybody, like, are you tracking with what I'm saying about layering and making it that way? Today, I'm only going to use an extract. I'm not even going to layer it with anything. And I'll show you my extract here in just a second. But if you've never seen an egg white protein powder, I mean, it's no big secret or whatever, but it is very helpful for not only upping the protein of whatever you're doing, but it's also, well, I just made a little bit of a mess, not too bad. But it's also going to help with the texture. So the texture comes out really, really cool. Just letting you know that. And then when this bakes, it's probably going to be about 40 minutes. I'm going to say probably 45. Now I'm doing mine in a baker as opposed to a loaf pan. Yes, you can use a loaf pan. And when you use a loaf pan, oh, that got wormed. When you use a loaf pan, it gets really high, and then you do lose some volume. When I use a baker like this, just got toasty. When I use a baker like this is going to be wide and lower, But I like that. This is just me, because then I slice it, and it's almost like I don't know. It's almost like a French bread shape. I don't know. I like it. That's why I do it. So I'm going to bring this back up here. Slowly incorporate. I don't want to ruin my egg white magic. It's a little powdery. My egg white's really whipped up today. Goodness gracious. Hold on. They did a good job. There we go. And then I'm going to add some extract. And today what I want to do is, one of my favorite all-time flavors is coconut. Now, you guys can get as creative as you want to get with extracts. Think about it. You could use maple, and then you could fry it up for breakfast and have like a maple flavored bread. And then you could actually use, let me show you. This is an allulose pancake syrup. Don't be confused. It's not like it's as, thick as regular pancake syrup, but still nice nonetheless. Very, that's a great way to do that. All right, hold on. I'm going to get my coconut in here, and about a tablespoon. I like a lot of flavor. There we go. There we go. That's how I do that. And now this gets a little messy, but that's okay. And it actually tastes good, right? Because it's meringue in its flavor, in its texture. Okay, let me set this aside over here. Paper towel. There we go. Okay. And like I said, this one I'm not going to layer. This is what it looks like. Let me show it to you. You can see how thick that is. Okay. Hey, that's like the Blizzard challenge at Dairy Queen, which I don't eat, but you know what I mean? That's the Blizzard challenge, isn't it? Is that just me that knows that? Maybe that's information that I should not be knowing. Okay. And again, 325 is the degrees on my oven. 45 minutes is the timer I'm going to set. When this comes out, I'll let it completely cool on a cooling rack. Take that parchment paper off. Sometimes I need to let it cool on its side, propped up a little bit, because again, this is it's just a different, there's an airiness to it. You can imagine there's an airiness, but yet there's still a bread-like consistency. It's such a game changer. A lot of people think that going gluten-free is enough. And I'm just going to tell you, it's not. It's not the same as being grain-free. Gluten-free is nice, right? Like maybe it helps you with some irritations, but grain-free is how you actually stop spiking your sugars. And that's the piece of the puzzle that I think a lot of people are missing. And so I get a lot of messages of people saying, I'm eating clean, I'm eating whatever, but I'm not losing any weight. And I'm just so darn frustrated. And I go to the doctor and they just tell me that my numbers look great. They just tell me my labs are fine. But I can tell something's not right. Sorry. I can tell that something's not right. This is what it looks like. Okay, this one's going to be kind of flat, right? As opposed to a loaf pan really would be piled high. And then it would deflate a little bit. I'm going to put this in the oven. And that conversation is, my labs look great. Tell me if this is you. Tell me if you resonate with this. 45 minutes. And that there's nothing wrong with me. You understand. That's awesome. Yes. And I just know that something's not right. Something doesn't feel right in my body. I don't understand why I can't move forward. I don't understand why I can't lose weight. I don't understand, fill in the blank. Or they kept telling me my labs are fine, and then all of a sudden, just like that, I'm pre-diabetic is what they're telling me. Well, this is because you love the egg white bread, Tanya. I know, so do I. What flavor do you make? I would love to know how you make yours. The conversation is, you can be insulin resistant for a long time before it shows up in your blood sugars. And nobody's talking about this with us. So we have to become our own advocates. Like we're all on the same, look at what I just did. I made a mess. We're all in the same team. Everything is fine until it's not. I started my insulin resistance in my 20s. I was gestational with my first baby and I was hypoglycemic with my second baby. I grew up with an insulin-dependent type 2 dad doing 2 injections a day of insulin. I talk about that a lot because I didn't know any different. That was my life, right? My dad took insulin. I knew where the hypodermic needles were. I knew where the vials of insulin. This was normal for me. And, but it never really dawned on me that it would be anything that I could control. It was more like type 2 is genetic. It runs in your family. So therefore you pay attention according to how it's running in your family. Okay. So 22, I'm pregnant. Let's see. No, 23. It doesn't matter. 23, I'm pregnant, gestational. 26, I'm pregnant, hypoglycemic. 29, I'm pregnant, neither. My dad dies at 30. My kids are 6, 3, and 6 months old. I spend my 30s doing nothing, and I'm sliding into my 40s and I'm doing nothing again. And my mom is really on me about my sugars because she can see my weight gain. And I think that this is what's happening with a lot of women. You're sliding into your 40s and you are having a hard time with your weight. And you're thinking things like, well, this is just what it's like to get old. My metabolism is slowing down, which is, that sentence makes us feel and think that then there's nothing we can do about it, right? Leaves us without hope or option. That's not helpful. And it does not a full answer, as opposed to you're sliding into your 80s. I love that. Woohoo! And you're doing it really well, movie mama. You're doing it very well. Take off your glasses. Take off your lens of losing weight the way maybe 30-year-olds are telling you to lose weight, or losing weight, the work your, go to the gym and just work your tail off type thought process, or counting your points or whatever. When you are insulin resistant, I have to throw this in the garbage. When you are insulin resistant, your plan has now changed. But that's not a bad thing. That's a really, really, really good thing. Meaning, if you recognize it, you can actually shift what you're doing and get completely different results. So once you view things through that lens, you're able to think to yourself, oh, okay, insulin is a hormone. Oh, okay, if my insulin and my sugars are high, I can't lose weight. Oh, okay, if I'm eating something and I ask myself the question, is it spiking my sugars? That's actually going to make more sense. Oh, okay. Those are the types of things that I kind of walked through on my own. And then now I'm able to completely shift things. So I started with targeted supplementation. Okay. Oh, I thought you said something. Okay. I started with targeted supplementation, and then I eventually did trade out my foods. And that is like the biggest conversation that I have, because being Italian, I never thought that was going to happen. I really, really didn't. And so, in fact, that's actually why I started with supplements. I wasn't even a supplement taker. I was like, let's see, ibuprofen, I talk about Metabolife that used to be sold in Walmart. My girlfriend and I, when we were homeschooling our kids, that's what we would take. Appetite suppressant got banned. But I wasn't a supplement person. I wasn't a granola person. I wasn't eating freaking egg white bread. I wasn't even thinking about being gluten-free. Just stop it already. I'm not going to do any of that. So in order to pacify my mom, I started with supplements. When it worked, I had to reverse engineer. Why did this work in my body? Why? I don't understand. My dad took all these meds. Those were supposed to help him. They didn't. He's dead. Okay. So then I try supplements and they work. Why? What is going on? And as I began to understand filling in nutritional gaps, I began to understand how God literally gave us answers so that we can bring down our sugars and our insulin. We actually can do things from the inside out to help our sugar cravings, etc. If you're on Instagram, especially, there's a highlight bubble at the top of the page and it's pink. And if you go to that, you can file through the testimonies of the trio. And remember, it's my anniversary month. June is my anniversary month. And so I'm going to be taking all of the orders for the entire month. Anybody who orders anything. And I'm going to put them in a hat and I'm going to give away sets of the trio. But that highlight bubble, you can file through the testimonies. My sugars came down, I wasn't able to get my morning sugars down for 3 years. Started the trio in 2.5 months. My morning sugars are down 30 points. I lost 14 pounds. My sugar cravings are gone. The one that I got the day before yesterday was I passed up donuts twice at work. I can't believe what's happening. How is this happening that my sugar cravings are under control? My mind is calm about food. Those types of things. And so you literally can get your system to work differently from the inside out. Did you know that? People, we don't talk about this stuff, right? So this was just my own journey that I went on, and then I kind of put all my pieces together and I started helping people locally here in Minnesota. I'm by the cities. And what really got me, I'll just be honest, what really got me was I had a guy. So see, I do have male customers. I had a guy who he said to me, and again, of course, I make no claims, like that would be ridiculous. I would never do that, but I do share testimonies and I'm happy to do it. And okay, I'll ask you a question in just a second. He said to me, he goes, I need to order more of those diabetes pills. And that's what he said to me. And I was like, okay, so interesting. And then he talked to me about how he had gone to the doctor and he was so angry with what he considered misinformation coming from the medical matrix. That was just his conversation in general. And I mean, he was mad. Like, I'm not kidding. He was texting me in the parking lot after his appointment. That's how mad he was. He was so ticked off that they just tell you, oh, you're doing fine, no problem, whatever, keep doing what you're doing. And anyway, and supplementation instead was actually trying to help him move, like go backwards, like reverse, right? So he's ticked off. And I went, I need to talk about this to more people, because it's not just me, now I've got somebody else that's saying the same thing. And I'm like, okay, so I get online and I start doing content, but I do content based more on broad hormones. And it wasn't until I narrowed down to the one hormone, insulin, that your response to me was boom, mind-boggling. And this was a few years ago now. And so last June, when I started the group, y'all just started kind of flooding in. And like I said, I do a challenge every month at the beginning of the month to try to resource you, encourage you, educate you, get you to nail down that month. And then we'll do it again the next month. And I wanted to be able to give you a track to run on. Like, here's how you can target supplements for your inner system. Here's how you can change out your ingredients. And here's some recipes. Here's some mindset for you. Here's some, etc. It's called Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. And like I was saying, it's my 1-year anniversary. So that has been mind-boggling. Now over 4,000 women are in the group. And it just tells me the need for people to understand some of the basic things. And I feel like what bothers me the most is that this is not a terminal diagnosis. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. Whoever did that. Kristen, you're amazing. She sent confetti on TikTok. Y'all just like parties. Like if I do something for Instagram, let's see if I can get Instagram to give me, there we go. Instagram just gave me hearts. It's really funny. If I go 2 thumbs up, sometimes I'll get like, I don't know how I get them all the time. There we go. Fireworks on Instagram. I'm having a party, having my own party. Listen, if you can't, if you're never invited to a party, just have your own. Go live and do weird things. And it works out. You guys are, oh, Kristen, thank you so much. I really appreciate you so much. You are amazing. Seriously, you guys taking back your own bodies, becoming your own advocate. It's allowing you to be able to create more memories that you weren't going to be able to create. It's such an important conversation to have. Because my mom she had a lot of surgeries. My dad never got to create memories past 63. My mom was 65 when he died. She hit retirement and her husband gone, out of the picture. And this is not a terminal diagnosis. Okay. So this is being treated like, oh, girlfriend, it's normal. You're fine. Just take this med over here, M-E-T. And if that doesn't work, just take this injection over here. And if that doesn't work over time, we'll just up it. Maybe we'll add a little something here. We'll slide in a BP one. We'll slide in an anti-sadness one. We'll slide in a STAT one. We'll just keep on we're going to build you a suite of scripts. How does that sound? Isn't that great? Well, the problem is that it's creating nutritional deficiencies. We already have nutritional deficiencies. Only 50% of the nutrients in our food from 50 years ago. Our soil is so depleted. This is a whole nother conversation. The other thing is that I'm in Minnesota. I'm firsthand experienced at this. How long is my growing season, do you think, in Minnesota? Do you think my growing season is really amazing? Do you think I have orange trees in my backyard? Do you think I'm growing avocados? No, everything is shipped in. I mean, we get berry season for like, it feels like it's more than this, but it feels like it's 2 weeks. We have fresh berries, you know? So for the rest of the year, we have berries being shipped into us that there's the nutritional value is so low. So our body actually gets deficient and it doesn't function properly. But that's where, when I talk about the trio, which are the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity, like that's why this is working, because you're filling in some nutritional deficiencies, but you are also helping your liver. And your liver, if your liver is tired and toxic from over-the-counter meds, scripts, dieting, seed oils, you name it, like we could go on and on. I think I talked about my mom's anesthesia and her surgeries yesterday. You can't lose fat because your liver is your fat metabolizing organ. So when I started to piece these things together, I was able to go from a 2X down to a large. I'm in my 50s. I started just shy of 51, changing my universe, lost 3 sizes. And it took me time. I did not have live video to listen to people. I just did it on my own because I wanted to assess my own behavior. I wanted to assess my own triggers. That's a whole thing. I've talked about this a lot on my lives. And I'm 59 and I'm not on any meds. And I'm not type 2 and I never will be, because I know exactly how this happens. So I make things like this egg white bread. I make food like this. I don't eat processed food. Was it a journey? Yep. And I talk about that too. And I talk about how I had carb blocker in my pockets for years. And I hate mentioning that right now because it's out of inventory until July 1st. But I do have somebody I have to reach out to because I got a hold of one locally. But anyway, I'm just telling you, like, I did my own tools. I did my own journey, but you can too. You can turn this back around because, again, I'm going to say it again. This is not a terminal diagnosis. If you have a terminal diagnosis, you know what? God bless you, right? Like, you have a different path. You have a path where maybe you need a team of professionals to help you navigate that. You have to have the oncologists and the labs and the tests, and you have to have a lot of things. This is a diet-related disease. It's overconsumption of carbohydrates over a long period of time, and your body just can't do it anymore. So your pancreas keeps on making insulin until it can't anymore. And it can't get it into the cell with the fuel because your cell has closed the door. You know, it's not open sesame, it's closed sesame. And all that extra fuel gets turned into fat because it's a fat storing hormone. This is a frustrating biological process that's very basic to me because I'm not a doctor. So basic to me because I have to keep things super simple in my brain. Okay. So a simple process to me in my layman, non-biological degree, thought process. But nobody's talking about it. You don't go to the doctor and they say, well, Kristen, insulin is actually a hormone and it's a fat storing hormone. So if you can stop spiking your sugars and calling on insulin, you can actually make a difference in how this is working in your body. You can actually, you know what? There are some really simple basic supplements that you can take and you can, we can work on this. Nobody's going to tell you that ever. It's not going to happen. Like, you would have to, if you have a doctor that's doing that, fantastic. Terry, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So I'm just saying, this is simple stuff. So jump into the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. I say that too fast. Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women. Jump into the group. I'll do it. I'll do a challenge at the beginning of July. The June one is pinned to the top of the group. When you get in, you'll be attached eventually here. You'll be tagged in a PDF that has free recipes, snacks, and pantry ideas. And then anybody who is wanting to, you want to be proactive and you want to purchase the trio ahead of the July challenge, you can do more fireworks on Instagram. You can either DM me, you can go to my site, which is my first last name, kirstenliebelt.com. You can do that. You'll see on the third button, there's the trio and then other things that I've added. The fourth button is the deficiencies that are coming from scripts that we talked about the other day. So if you're already on MET, or if you are already on an STAT, then there are deficiencies that are created out of that process that we don't know about. And so if you need to turn back those, all orders are going into a pile. You guys are going into a hat in the month of June to celebrate the anniversary of the group. And I'm giving away trio sets. So don't miss out on that. Like, don't wait until July, because I'm doing that for this month for the anniversary. So I'm very excited about that. And, I just am very grateful because I'm one of many, many voices, right? There are many people talking about this now, and I'm so, so happy. I've learned a lot from people like Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Eric Burr and Maria Emmerich, and I'm trying to think who else. There are a lot of good people out there that are giving great information so that we can stop believing some of the parameters that have even been given to us about certain things, and so that we can become our own advocates, right? Because if we can become our own advocates, and you'd be amazed at what happens when you do turn back your insulin resistance, the other things that get better, like BP, right? Like gout in your feet. Like people are turning it back, going carnivore, and regaining their fertility for younger women. Dr. Kiltz, Kilz, is somebody who teaches that. And so when you can get back your life, for me, it was all about my grandbabies. It was all about wanting to have the ability to, I wanted to be the grandma that had energy. I wanted to be the grandma that had function. I wanted to be the grandma that was not in surgeries all the time and recovering from surgeries all the time. I wanted to be the grandma that could get down on the floor with my grandbabies. I didn't want my feet to hurt all the time. My dad had terrible neuropathy, and he had sores on his legs that didn't heal. And he was constantly in surgeries or having procedures done and having quadruple heart bypass surgery, pacemaker. And the last 2 years, then he just topped it off with kidney dialysis for 2 years. And all of that because of something that could have been turned back. So that's the story. That's the message. You can turn this back. Is it hard to deal with some of your own habits? Yeah, of course it is. That's why community can help. That's why being encouraged monthly can help. That's why, supplementing from the inside so that you can simmer down some of the noise, the food noise helps. That's why if you can get like a jump start on actually turning this back, yes, there are things that can help. But, I think our minds are probably the hardest thing. So, that's just the reality. Linda, good to see you. Good to see you guys. It's so much fun. Okay. Does anybody have any questions for me about anything that I just talked about? I have 24 minutes left on my bread, so I don't know that I have to hang out with y'all for that. I mean, I can, but probably unnecessary. But I was like, I desperately wanted a loaf of bread. I had a loaf from last week and I made it orange. Oh, I used orange extract and I layered it with cinnamon. And so I've been using that in the mornings and frying it with eggs. And it's so good for me to have this on hand. And the last thing I will say about the bread actually is once it's completely cooled 100%, wrap it loosely with paper towel and slide it into a Ziploc baggie and only close it about halfway. And then what you're able to do is put it in the fridge. And it will last nice and long. So hold on just a second. Can joint pain be a sign of insulin resistance? Yes. Yes. And so sometimes I'll talk to people because inflammation in general. Okay. And we talked about, maybe I did a reel on that that's coming out today. Which came first, the chicken or the egg, inflammation or the disease? Oftentimes inflammation is the precursor to things. But when you have high insulin, you automatically have high inflammation. So there are some people who will say to me, okay, and I'm my own story. So when I first started taking supplements, I took supplements for 3 things. I took supplements for my sugars, the trio that I talk about. I took adaptogenic herbs for my hormones. I did not understand any of this. I didn't know anything was going to work. I didn't know how it was going to work. I didn't know what my results were going to be. Nothing. I just started doing stuff kind of like throwing spaghetti at a wall. That was where I started. But the third thing was for my joints, because my joints, I ached so bad all the time. And so my fingers and my wrists were terrible. And we, in the line that I rep, I actually do have this joint health supplement that is phenomenal. 2 in the morning, 2 later in the day, 2 in the morning, 2 later in the day. It has an proprietary anti-inflammatory blend, blah, blah, blah. It was amazing. I got up and over and on top of how I was feeling. But as I began to do this, meaning I took this journey of supplements, food trade out, supplements, food trade out, I no longer needed it anymore. So you don't have to stay with something forever if it's not serving you, right? So yeah, so scientists say that if we keep our inflammation down, we live longer. 100%. Inflammation is like the core of all disease. It's a really big issue. But anyway, I don't ache. I don't ache. So what if you turn back what's going on and then you don't ache? Like, you guys, I don't want to live a long time and have dementia like my mother did. I don't want to live a long time and not feel good and feel like crap all the time. I think it's a part of why my dad gave up. You know, dialysis caused him throw up. Every other day he was doing dialysis and throwing up for 2 years. And 36 hours before he died, he just said, this is no way to live. This is no way to live. He just didn't want to do it anymore. So who could blame him, right? So I just say that because a lot of times when I talk to people about the trio, sometimes people are grabbing the and Instagram party central over here. Turmeric. I have a turmeric that's literally 45 times more absorbable than the average turmeric. Amazing, because it's an extract, organic, phenomenal, like literally USDA certified organic. Like, you just don't find stuff like this. But anyway, but they mixed it with fenugreek, and that blend is really, really good because fenugreek actually helps you with your sugars. So turmeric can help you with your inflammation. The fenugreek can help you with your sugars. The blend together is really quite something. So taking like 400 milligrams of what I take is like taking 6,000 milligrams of somebody else's. So I'm just letting you know that things like that are available for people who need help with that. Do bunions and crooked toes have to do with insulin resistance? I don't know about that, Joanna. I don't think so. That's a really good question, though, because gout obviously is. But I don't know that. That's a really good question. I like that. Did I miss one? I think I did not. I think I'm good on that one. Kristen, yeah. And because you're a customer, so you can just go on and look up joint health. There's a 30 and a 60-day supply. And like I said, it's a glucosamine product, but then they have this anti-inflammatory blend, and it's proprietary, meaning that it's exclusive to them. And so they used to sell it in a 10-day supply because they knew if somebody would be consistent 2, after 10 days, you're starting to get up over the mountain, just a little bit of your aching. And then on about the 13th day, you would feel how not having that in your system is not as great. I found for myself personally that I kept experiencing benefits at least for the first 30 days. Like, I could just feel, I was like, wow. And at the time I was working in a medical clinic, and there were physical therapists there, and I would just have them just rub on my do pressure points on my arms and on my elbows. I was really in a lot of pain. Diabetes causes nerve damage and can lead to bunions, feet problems. Thank you for sharing that. Hold on. Let me see. Yep. Every condition that a person is suffering with is caused by inflammation in your body. I do agree with that. Diabetes causes nerve damage and can lead to bunions and feet problems. So there you go. Maybe that's a helpful thing for you to look up. And I would actually, do y'all do Chat GPT at all? Your joints hurt terribly. Joanna, reach out to me. in my inbox here on Instagram. Just reach out to me and I'll send you a direct link to the joint health so you can look at it. And remember, every single order that comes in the month of June goes into a hat to win a free trio set. And the trio is the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. So if that's something that you've been like, you're watching me, you're stalking me, and you're thinking, I'd like to try that trio sometime. Well, you know what? It's an opportunity for people to win it for the anniversary. So anyway, you're so welcome, Joanna, of course. But that's really curious about feet problem other than gout. I did not know that. That's so interesting. Oh, but I was going to say, if you have ChatGPT, go into ChatGPT, and maybe you don't, maybe you think I'm crazy, or maybe you don't even know what I'm talking about, but it's basically another idea. It's an AI, but it's an alternative to Google, because Google is going to basically give you and I'm sure that to a certain degree, ChatGPT will too. But Google's going to give you the answers they want you to have. They're going to give you the resources that agree with them. So they're going to give you sites to give you your answers. Like if you ask a question to Google, it's going to say, go to this article, go to this video, blah, blah, blah. ChatGPT is going to say, it's going to give you a compilation of an answer. Like if you say, are bunions and feet problems, connected to insulin, or what foot problems are connected to insulin resistance, and it's going to answer you according to the compilation of information that has been gathered by wherever, supposedly, the entire internet or something like that. But as opposed to sending you an article or something, it's going to help you with maybe understanding some of the inner workings of something. Your sister-in-law has gout. Yep. And it's very painful. It's very painful. And I remember the first time that I remembered, that's what you asked of Google. Oh, very good. Okay. So that's where you got that. Excellent. Good. When I realized that gout was connected to insulin resistance, I literally was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like everything is related to insulin resistance. How can this possibly be? And then how can this possibly be a conversation that is not being had on a regular basis? Like this is absolutely ridiculous. And, it's the same thing with leaky gut. What do you mean insulin resistance is connected to leaky gut? What do you mean? Fill in the blank. Like it keeps on shocking me. And I'm like, okay, so if what we need to do is bring down our insulin and bring down our sugars and stop eating foods that spike our sugars so we can stop calling on insulin, then let's teach that. Let's talk about that. Because again, it's not a terminal diagnosis. It's something that you actually can control. And even though I understand it can be hard inside of your heart, it can be hard inside of your mind, that doesn't negate the fact that this actually is a functioning turnaround. It doesn't negate that. There are lots of hard things we have to do. We have to do hard things all the time, don't we? Oh, I got to do a puzzle piece on TikTok. They make me verify that I'm not a robot. It's kind of funny. You have to verify to continue. Oh, your son-in-law. His doctor told him to track his sugar now. Yeah. But you know what? Guess what? Long before it shows up sugar in your blood, your insulin can be high for a very long time. So why can't we deal with it back here? Facebook can't see me. Why can't we track it back here? Why do we have to wait until it's right here? Because insulin is a hormone and they don't do. Renee, good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. I'm making egg white bread. It's in my oven and it's coconut. You're welcome. You're so welcome, Joanna. Insulin is a hormone. So why aren't they doing fasting insulin? Some are. Some are. Most aren't. So we're told, oh no, everything's cool. Everything's cool. Everything's cool. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Oh, shoot. You're pre-diabetic. You know what? You might want this MET script. I'll just write that out really quickly for you. Gosh, it's almost like you're getting a kickback. Sorry. That's probably not true. I'm just saying, like, it's just crazy. And then if they talk to you about taking supplements, and they write you a script for a supplement and you go to the pharmacy and get it filled, who do you think is making the script? Like, are you like we have to think this stuff through. I do not want anything that is made by a company who is also making the script. Like, are they going to benefit from both sides? I'm not interested. You found an emulsion that might make flavoring icing for your orange bread. I want to know, Renee. An emulsion? Do you mean like an emulsion blender? Is that what you mean? That's very exciting. Yes, I would love to know all about a flavored icing for my orange bread. Tell me more. Tell me more. That sounds so good. That sounds really, really good. All right, I have 12 minutes left. Should I stay on and hang out? Let's see what else. I'm sure that I'm missing stuff on Facebook, but that's okay. That happens. That happens. So anyway, so if you need anything at all, though, I really do let people know. Number one, you can always message me. Facebook, you can always drop, there's Messenger on Facebook. I have an inbox on Instagram and on TikTok. If you go to the my page, which is up here, click on my face. It'll come up again right here, and you click on it again, and it will take you to my page. And on my page, all my contact information is there for you, including a, hashtag stands for, and you can do this to me. You can message me that way. And totally message me and just always tell me, just like, hey, I was on your live this morning and you talked about that turmeric thing and I want to know about it. You talked about that joint health thing and I want to know about that. Like, I need to fix this, this, and this. What do you suggest? I will literally put things into a cart for you and deliver it to you so that you can look things over. That's what, I will customize something for you according to what you need so that you don't have to get a bunch of stuff that you don't need or guess. Like, why do that? Let's put it all into a cart. And my housekeeping for that would be when you do that, because when I get off here, I'll go and I will answer all of your conversations. When you do that, if I forget to say it at the time, what you do is you take the cart and you just click on the things that you do want and you add them to your own cart. Go to the top of that page and there's a little person icon. Register with your name so that there's a box for perks. Click on the box for perks so that you can begin getting points for your products. That's how you get cash off of future orders. Like, make your supplement routine that you're already doing or that you're adding to work for you. Make it work for you inside of your budget and inside of your money and get cash off of future orders. Terry says stay. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. You guys. Okay. What should we talk about? But anyway, yes, that's exactly what I would want to say. And then again, all orders in the month of June, we're going to give away some trio sets. So let's go. Let's give away some fun stuff. I've identified the 5-day challenge in July. So if you want to grab your trio and get ready for that, the week of the 4th, I'm not going to do it that week. I'm going to go the next week. So whatever that Monday is, and I don't have a device on me right now because I'm using them all. You're all in front of me. And so I don't know the date on that. Hold on. Let's see what you're saying, Joanna. Thank you so much, Joanna. You're so nice. She says, you're amazing. Doctors hide crucial info because this is how they rule in a kind of toxic way for patients. Knowledge is power, and you are sharing it with us while doctors deprived it from patients. I know. I feel like one of my biggest, it's like an extraction. Luann butter, sweet dough, buttery with citrus and vanilla. Renee, I would love to know about that. That sounds amazing. I would love to know about that. Another one of my big wake-up calls is somebody that I know who she's type 2. And she went to her normal, you just get on this routine of, wellness visits, when you're diabetic. And because usually you have more than one script. Usually you have MET, usually you have something for BP, and usually you have something sometimes for anti-sadness and or an STAT. It's a suite of meds that they put you on. So therefore you have to go and get all your checkups all the time, like every 6 months or whatever it is. I don't know. And so she went to one of her checkups and she was talking to her nutritionist, which I'm sure she does have a degree for that. So I don't mean to say she doesn't, but anyway. And she's like, I'm having such a hard time lately keeping my sugars in check. Like, what the heck is going on? And she's like, well, tell me what you've been eating. And she's like, okay, well, I've been eating this. And she said, oh, you're fine. You can have up to 150 grams of carbs a day. All you have to do is go from this pill to this injection. And she was so mad. She said, that is the worst advice I've ever been given. I don't think she said that to her, to the female doctor. I think she thought it in her head. I don't remember, to be really honest, if she told her off or not. The guy who texted me after his visit, he told the doctor. I think he swore. That's another conversation. He's like, this is ridiculous. And so no, when you're insulin resistant, listen, if you are only just a little bit insulin resistant, just a little bit, just get some belly fat going on. You're like, I just want to get rid of my belly. You should not be eating 150 grams of carbs a day because you crossed over into insulin resistant land. If you actually want your body shape to change, your size to change, if you want to burn fat off of your body from the inside of your knees, your arms, your back fat, you want all this stuff, you have to change what you're doing. So 150 grams of carbs, you are going to be on such a silly cycle, chasing, because your sugars are too high, your insulin is too high, it's storing fat like a maniac, because that's just what's going to happen because it's a fat storing hormone and your cells have already closed the door. You know what I'm saying? Like your liver's not functioning well. You're like, there are so many pieces to that puzzle. And what if there are some simple answers? What if? I'll tell you that my longtime best friend was part of the M journey with, the shoddy shot M journey. It started a long journey of illnesses. Oh, I'm so sorry. It was too late by the time to try to reverse things. You recently lost him. So are you talking about the MOU? No, MONJ? Is that what you're talking about? I'd like to know if that, I want to make sure that I'm giving proper. Oh, you're talking about MET. Got it. Thank you. Not the injection. Delete what I said. MET, M-E-T. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm sorry. And you know what? Again, for me, it was after my dad and insulin. Yep. Mm-hmm. My dad had that Lazy Susan full of meds. And I talk about that because that really stuck. Oh, it's a script, Brooke. It's a script that's often given for type 2. And so we don't say the name because the tickety talkers don't like that. And you just I can get flagged. So yeah, you're welcome. And so I don't want to get flagged on my lives. They'll just shut you down. But I really wondered, like that impacted, I didn't realize it was impacting me on the day of. Actually, it was the day after he died. It was the morning after. And all of these meds, and my mother felt bad that she had complained about all of his meds being everywhere and this whole Lazy Susan and all this stuff. And there was something in me that went, why modern medicine? Like, why didn't that fix him? Why didn't that help him? Why didn't that heal him? I mean, I know I was really naive, but that's what started my journey. And I realized that now they will give you, yeah, you know what I'm referring to now. Perfect. Perfect. I'll do thumbs up on Instagram and get more of a party going. Basically, I came to realize, that's not the goal of those companies. It's not the goal at all. And in fact, the information that they'll give you about your, carb intake, like I just said, is really bad. Like that's bad advice. But then they'll just increase a dose. So we're not going to do that. We're going to learn simple tools, how to eat grain-free, sugar-free, how you can still be a complete foodie like I am. If you're a foodie, I'm a foodie. You don't have to give it up. You can learn basic things and you can completely change the way that your body functions and you can change the way that you still love your food. Like it's just a difference of ingredients. And that's why in the challenge, I always go like through my pantry here and my refrigerator. I always go through those so that I can show you a visual of what it looks like just to have ingredients that are not white flour, white sugar, etc., and seed oils. So we changed that all out. But it really does help quite a bit, actually. So I'm going to grab my, we're getting close, you guys. We're getting close. You guys are so nosy, wanting to see the final product. Just kidding. I can't wait to have some. Here we go. I can't wait because it tastes so good. And again, so what I'll do is when it's warm, I usually have a piece, and I have a piece. Hey, I need to know, Kayla, are you on here? Are you on my Instagram? I have a question for you. If you are, let me know if you are on here. Or, hey, Anna, good to see you. Once a provider puts you on that, it's time to reverse. Otherwise, you start the insulin. Yes. Yes, exactly. And Kayla, hey, will you do me a favor if you have a second, and you may not because you might be driving? Will you text Dad and let him know that I may need him to send a message to Media that I will be with her as soon as I can. And yes, thank you. If you can do that, and if you can't, just tell me you can't, no problem. So where was I, you guys? Yes. The side effects. This is what I was going to say. The side effects, this is what I didn't know. Will do. Thank you, Kayla. The side effects. Okay. All right. So I'm taking care of my mom. She has dementia. This was a few years ago now. She died last year, 94 years old. The beginning of her journey. We moved her out of her home into independent living. And basically, we're just at her beck and call to help her navigate. Her dementia gets really bad because she had been in her home for 50 years, and that was routine for her. So she was able to function inside of that. We had no idea. We were just learning about her dementia. We didn't even know she had dementia when she moved from her home. 4 months into this whole thingamajig, basically, I'm going and I'm picking her up and I'm taking her places, and she's having bathroom issues. And that is very, very challenging for somebody who has dementia because, number one, it's very easy to be overwhelmed and have anxiousness, have anxiety. And number two, then if you are not able to assess your bathroom need, that's very devastating for them. Okay. So I'm taking her out places and we're having issues in public restrooms, and I'm helping her and we're dealing with it all. And I go to the doctor. My mother had never been type 2 before, but in her 80s, she developed it because it's a diet-related disease. Anyway, makes me mad. And anyway, and I said to him, you know, oh my gosh, like, this is challenging. Like, I think even on that same day that we were there, she had so much anxiety about going to the doctor that she had some bathroom issues while there, and we dealt with it and everything was good. I'm like, wow, like, you know, and he goes, oh yeah, it's probably from the MET. I'm like, excuse me? What? Like, I was so mad because you're telling me that that's a side effect and you're not putting two and two together, that somebody with dementia can't assess themselves or even take care of themselves or clean up after themselves. I said, just get out of here. Just go away. I did not say that to his face. I did not. He was a very nice doctor, but I'm like, this is ridiculous that this is normal in your head. Like somewhere in your brain, this makes sense and that this is okay. I'm like, no, we're getting her off of everything. This is dumb. I think she was 89 at the time. Look at how beautiful she is. All right. And we eventually did take her off everything. It was like so stupid. And then what we did was we took her into our homes. We fed her keto. We got her A1C down and we just like fixed it ourselves. Just get out of our way. We'll just fix it ourselves. That's what we did. Okay. So this is what it looks like. Doesn't she look pretty? The allulose is what got you this brown amazingness. Do you see that? Okay. And I'm going to pick up. This is what it looks like with the parchment paper. Okay. So she's light. I mean, she's got a little bit of heaviness to her, but she's light because it's egg whites. And I'm going to take this out. Now, if I questioned whether or not this was done, I'm going to show you how I check that. Because that has happened to me many a time. Where can I set this? So if I were to put this in for, let's say, 35 minutes instead of 45, and I'm like, oh, I'm not sure if that's done yet. What I would do basically is I would find just a little area like this. Let's see if everybody can see it. And I would kind of just open it up a little bit. And I would be able to see that there's like moistness in there, wetness. And when I see wetness, I immediately think 5 more minutes. That's what I think. Now I can see in here, maybe I can hold this up for you, that this little corner, because I want you to see what it looks like. That little corner, can you see that's not moist? It looks more like a just a textured area. Can you see that? Let's see on Facebook, right there. Your camera's in a different spot. Okay, so that's what I wanted to show you with that. So basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take, I could just let it cool completely here, which is normally what I do. But when I'm on live, I do oftentimes just take off the parchment paper because I want you to see, I want to slice something for you so you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Just like that. That's how easy that is. This is the loaf. Okay, this is coconut. Okay, can you see the steam coming off? And sometimes, like, because this is more vulnerable to volume loss and squishiness, sometimes I'll like let it cool on its side and maybe I'll prop it up against something, trying to keep its shape a little bit. This one feels really good. I actually am super interested in the fact that I used a different pan today. I've been using a stone and putting this in the parchment paper. This was, instead of a stone, this was a kind of like almost a ceramic cooker, maybe something like that. And I feel like it did a better job. I'm super interested in this right now. So hold on. I'm going to grab a knife that can slice. Okay. I wanted to try to find a serrated knife, something that could slice it better. Does anybody? If you add whole egg powder, it won't lose its value. Anna, that is true. That is interesting that you're saying that, because I usually only use the egg white powder. So it doesn't lose its volume. Yes. Okay. Slice this open. Looks great. I did not layer this with anything, so there's no marbling in here. You can see the steam. Can you see the texture? Oh, shoot. It is well with my soul. She says her stomach can't handle egg whites by themselves. Interesting. So I wonder then what Anna is saying that she tried and she loved. She's saying that she's using a whole egg powder when she's making this bread. I wonder if that, well, but then how do you have to start it with, so that would be starting with egg whites and then adding the whole egg powder. Would that help to offset that for you? I wonder. I don't know for sure. I need some butter. It's get a little butter going. And you know, the extracts are kind of endless, and you do have to be a little mindful. I'm not going to lie. There are a lot of extracts out there that have bad colorings in them, but you can buy better choices online on Amazon. You can do stuff, right? I'm just saying, like, I love a cake batter extract. Like if I make a coconut cookie, if you get into the Facebook group, Ditch Insulin Resistance for Women, and you get tagged in it in a free PDF, one of the recipes are coconut cookies. I love making those and using like a cake batter extract, but there's like it's yellow. So I'm sure there's a bad yellow. I need to find a better brand for that one. But you can find all sorts of different extracts so that you can trade up your world a million times over. Like the sky is the limit when it comes to doing something like this. But as you can see, like, well, it's hot, so it just melts right in there. But for me, I'm looking for the flavor. So deconstructing a recipe, I'm just looking for the flavor, but that's what that is with butter on it. Not sure, but the egg white powder you cannot handle. So I wonder if maybe you would try the whole egg powder with that, you know, because that could help. And so if you want, let's see here, in the recipe PDF that's in the group, this recipe is in there. On my page, my first last name, KirstenLiebelt.com, there is a video, like an 8-minute video of me teaching it. So you could do that too. If you would like a video I put together a 4-minute video about the trio. If you would like that, you can put a heart in the comments below on Facebook, any kind of a heart, and I will get you that video so you can see what I'm talking about. I thought that was a better way to communicate that. If you're on IG, just message me a heart, put it in my inbox. It can be a pink heart, it can be a red heart, it doesn't matter. And if you're on the Tickety Talk, you would have to maybe jump over to the IG and drop me a heart in my inbox. And I'll just send you a 4-minute video so that you can get a little bit of understanding about the 3 supplements that have the 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. That's what's changing the way your body's functioning. That's where all the testimonies are coming from. IG, there's a pink highlight bubble at the top. Just filter through the testimonies. Just take a minute to look at the sugars that go down and the weight that gets lost and the cravings that are curbed and the food noise that simmers and goes away, those types of things. And it's basic biology. It's basic fill in nutritional deficiencies and get your body to function better from the inside out. And then when you bring down your sugars and your insulin, you can actually lose weight. This is how I was then able to go from a 2X down to a large. Jacqueline, love this spread. It's so worth experimenting with it to figure out what you like. Yes, yes, yes. Shirley, I see your heart. I will get you that video when I get off. I'm telling you, it's like nobody's just probably ever told you, just like me. Nobody ever told me, oh, if your sugars and your insulin are high, you can't lose weight. Oh, well, then what am I messing around with points for that are raising my sugars? What am I messing around with? Like, you know, it wasn't me because I had never worked out super hard, but there are a lot of women who work out super hard and it's backfiring because it's raising your cortisol. On Instagram, you believe, I can't see comments. Oh, did somebody do it? Kayla, thank you so much. You're amazing. Is honey maple syrup safe for sweeteners when baking? Sure, but I personally do not teach maple syrup at all or honey because I'm staying away from anything that spikes sugar. That's what I teach for people who are insulin resistant. So yes, they are safe. In this bread, don't know. Probably too heavy for the egg whites. Probably too heavy. So what I do instead is I use erythritol. With the bread, I use an allulose blend because allulose makes it brown. This brownness comes from allulose. Otherwise, it'll just be white, which is fine. But in general, I use erythritol, stevia, monk fruit, and allulose. Those are the 4 things that I use in blends, or I trade them out, etc. Okay. So just to answer that, there are recipes that use egg yolk powder, a Maria Emmerich one, I believe. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, Joanna. Yep. So Joanna, put that heart in my inbox. Pretty, please. And if you don't know how to do that, I'm trying to think. After I load this video, I'm going to load the video up. If you come back and put a heart on the video, if you don't know how to get to an inbox, put a heart on the video and I can see it on the video. It's just that during the live on TikTok and IG, it goes away. Poof, it's gone after I'm done. It's kind of a weird reality. So same thing with you. Fatuma Rayan. I'm going to say that wrong. I want to say it right. Fatu Mayron. I'm saying it wrong, aren't I? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But that beautiful red heart will go away. So if you can do that over on IG, or if you go to my profile up here and click on my face, it'll bring up my face again in the middle. And if you click on it again, there's contact information on my page there. You can do this on your phone to me. I have to be careful what I say, as if you can't tell. TikTok is weird. So that's how you can get that information to me. So if anybody wants me to send you a 4-minute video that basically goes over the trio for you so you can have an understanding, then you can just come back and let me know. That is kind of where I want to start. Okay. That's how you will know. And it's just a great baseline. It's not the only supplements that I take. I've layered my universe, but it's still very targeted because I want it to be targeted to help me the most that I can have help with. Some people need something like an ashwagandha. I have a phenomenal ashwagandha that is USDA certified organic. And ashwagandha, if you didn't know, it's an adaptogenic herb that helps with mood, sleep, and stress. So if your stress is up, if your cortisol, if your belly fat, that's another piece of that puzzle, you know? So sometimes people need extra things, but anyway, okay. You love using allulose. Me too, Jacqueline. I actually do too. And fun note is that studies are coming out on the sweetener allulose, which is a plant-based sweetener, coming out and talking about how it actually is showing decreases in blood sugar. Like it's not just stable, it's literally helping to lower blood sugar. So those are just some studies coming out. It's worth paying attention to. You've been using allulose too, Renee. Perfect. I feel like, and it's not necessarily inexpensive to buy straight allulose. Probably the erythritol blends are the cheapest. And, I feel like that's a very interesting component because I'm going to go back to the conversation of, didn't God just give us everything we needed? He really did. He gave us things that we needed. And so even though we have some nutritional deficiencies because our soil or because we're eating out of season all the time, even if we have, nutritional deficiencies because of the scripts that we've been taking, right? And our bodies aren't functioning, even if we've overloaded our liver and it's become tired and toxic and it doesn't want to metabolize anymore, especially your fat, it doesn't want to help your hormones anymore, the glucose in your blood, like your liver's like, oh, really tired, right? Even though we can still like come in, support it, get it to function at a higher level and be like, go, 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 right? I mean, honestly, you guys, that's why the testimonies come, because it's almost like you're waking up your system and your body goes, like, hello, wake up. And then you can function again. So anyway, all right. Well, you guys have been absolutely amazing. I appreciate you so much. I love coconut, you guys. I'm just a coconut person. So making this as a coconut bread just makes me really happy. And what I'll do now is I'll keep this in my fridge and I will wrap it in paper towel and put it in loosely in a Ziploc bag, and I'll keep it in my fridge, and I'll slice off a few slices every morning and I'll fry them in butter with my eggs. That's what I'll do. And I have a sweet bread with my salty eggs. And for me, that works. You are so welcome, Renee. You are so welcome. I know it is really yummy. So you guys have a very blessed day. And I'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. And I'm glad that it seemed like it worked out. I'll check everything. And if you've put hearts in because you want a video on Facebook, I will get that to you. And otherwise, DM me on Instagram or go to my profile, my page on the Tickety Talk, or jump over to IG. I can send direct things over there, but I can't with you guys. So, all right. You're welcome. You're so, so welcome, Jennifer. All right. Have a great day, you guys. Good to see you. See you later. TikTok. I have to take you off first, don't I? And I can't. That's so funny. All right. I'm going to have to work on that. So I'll do Facebook.